The mold's on the inside of one of the window flaps. The mold's actually on the inside that's facing out.
The inside of the outside bit.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
The outside of the inside bit.
Yeah, gotcha.
So it could have been there.
Did you follow that? The inside of the outside bit, not the outside bit of the inside. The inside of the outside. Sure if you can see it in the light there. Have a look at that. How'd you do that, buddy?
I fell off my bike.
Well, I said I'll show you around camp and around the caravan park. I can't do that because it's so bloody windy. So you can see the end bit there again. These windows are closed for good reason because it's going to blow straight through. Well, good morning. Looks like the weather's turned and it's actually come up really good this morning. Again, it was blowing its head off all last night and it stopped sometime during the night, and as you can probably hear now, no canvas flapping going on, and it's all calmed down quite nice, and looks like it's going to be a good day for us to get out and explore, which we're pretty keen to do. And from what we've been told, the beaches around here are really nice. There's actually some areas, Sheridan's about an hour north of here, but there's some actually some camping spots just south of where we are now, which is in Port Dennis, and so we're actually going to have a look at those. Now, something I didn't cover off before was it is a dog friendly park as well. Only thing is there is a $50 fine. Not a $50 fine, it's a $50 bond that you pay at the front office there, which is obviously you get back at the end of it. A bit of advice for anyone camping in wind, or if you get caught up in wind, I'll show you some things we've had to check and fix up and those types of things, but this one piece of advice I could give you is just don't take your eye off the gear. Every half an hour at least, just do a walk around and just check things. These poles where they fix in here, so this middle one's been fine.
How do you know you don't want TikTok?
That one there and that end one. What it is, these poles clip in here, and as you can see, the wind just pushes in from the outside and bang, clicks it out, and then suddenly it's hanging like that. All this is all Velcro. Pegs in the ground. You know, these obviously tie on the poles here, but again, all that's Velcro in there. All that Velcro is held pretty well. The other thing I had to keep tightening, keep tensioning, the first one is the kids come through and keep bloody knocking these. Because we're in the sand here as well, I've actually got these sand pegs which are actually drilled in, and I've actually sort of had to change the angles and move the ground a bit, because certain bits of ground soft and other bits aren't, and they've obviously just been pulling out. If you haven't done it already, I recommend actually having some different types of pegs. Of course, I've got the hammering ones, but they're not great for all grounds, and obviously where we are, we're kind of in, you know, it's kind of pretty sandy ground. They won't hold, they'll rip out and they won't do the job, and you'll do some damage like we have in the past. But having the screwing ones was good for the grassed area. I didn't have these sand pegs. I'd be in a strife, and we would have, you know, we wouldn't better, probably had to have packed up and left by now. And again, this is just a look from the outside here, or the Velcro there. It's all pretty good. Anyway, we're going to start loading up the Pajero now, and we'll get the fridge out, and we'll go and check out this beach.
beach. Now we can swim.
Alright, so we made it here to Free Beach.
Oh, you right, Oaks?
Don't chuck it in Google, because Google will tell you to go the wrong way, which is where we were before. Unfortunately, it's a dead end. We just had to, there's a little turn off just past the Dongara tourist park. Pretty easy to find. And as you can see from the drone shot, there's cars down here for days. It is dog friendly as well, so there's just dogs run amok here, which is really nice. It is super windy, so that's why I'm in here trying to hide from the wind at the moment, so you can actually hear me. I'll see if I can get the drone up. Likely I won't be able to do too much with it, but anyway, this is us for a bit now. We're gonna enjoy ourselves a bit, and before we head back for lunch. Right, so we're back from the beach now. It got pretty windy, and to be honest with you, sand was getting in everywhere. It's actually really fine sand, and but the boys got to have a swim and have a good time. So I'll just show you something Nita's making up here. Okay, so we've got some beef there, some mushrooms, and what's that red stuff there?
Vegetable capsicum.
Here he is, the first sign of food, and Ellie comes running, eh? And there's one thing that we ate more than anything else when we're travelling, especially when we're doing our lap. Bloody wraps all the time. Lunch, it's just easy and quick, and like you need to see when you get on the top of the country where it gets warm, bread just goes off in a day or two anyway, and it's bloody useless. So. Oh, got more going in.
Just for you, babe.
It's going here.
I need yogurt.
Ooh.
If you want this yogurt, try now, and then you can have a chance to win it.
Right, you're winning yogurt. Alright, Hurley,
That may not be a proper competition.
how do we win this yogurt?
You said subscribe now.
If you subscribe.
Oh, so people subscribe, they get to win a yogurt?
And it's this flavour. It's really yummy. Trust me.
Hilarious.
Sounds like a fair deal, doesn't it? Try and melt the cheese on there, are we?
Yeah, a little bit.
Tried this before?
I have actually.
Have you? Here we go, that's me sorted.
Man,
This stuff.
rocket. There you go. That's you sorted.
Right, well there's lunch sorted out, and as you can tell the wind's picked up pretty crazy here and it's blowing pretty hard, so our options are limited when the weather's like this. We can't really do a lot, but you know, we're going to have some lunch and we're going to go for a bit of a look around town, and we'll see how we go. See from the bit of video would likely have just put up, it's quite windy, blowing between 50 and 60k an hour. And there's not much we can do, unfortunately. There's nothing. You try and play some sports out there and balls just get blown away, and even riding a bike's a bit of a chore in the head, you know, with a pretty serious headwind.
Going one way.
Right?
It's good going one way.
Yeah, you just can't get back up the hill. Rather than sit around and sulk at the camp there, we are just going to have a bit of a look around town here. bit of an explore. Like again, we're not sure what we're going to be able to do and what we can't. Likely there's not going to be much to do, and I'm just driving up on the water here now, and looks like the boats are doing well to hold anchor. But yeah, I guess something we haven't done is had a good look around town. Like, it's not a big town, but right, yeah, we're back at camp now, and we'll have to ignore all this noise here. Probably sounds like we're going to take off, and it kind of feels like we are, but yeah, no, there wasn't much else around town, to be honest with you. Donga itself is pretty much all closed down, being a public holiday, being New Year's Day basically, and in Donga you'll find a supermarket, a pub, and cut the clothing stores and chemists and those types of things. Okay, so as you can probably tell, we're at home now, and unfortunately things didn't go to plan for us. I think where we finished up was, I think we at that point had made a decision we're actually going to pack up and come home the next day, because we were at the beach at about 10 o'clock and it was 20 k's an hour, and then suddenly at midday, just in those 2 hours, it jumped up to 40 k's and up to 50 and 60 k's an hour throughout the rest of the night. And unfortunately it just wasn't fun, you know, so at that point just wondering whether or not, you know, everything's just going to take off, and every 20 minutes, half an hour, checking things, making sure everything's holding and those types of things, and unfortunately it didn't really stop on the way home, and we couldn't get out and explore and do anything again because it was, you know, blowing 50, 60, and
couldn't even play cricket.
Yeah, exactly. There was nothing there, nothing going on for the kids. You get the balls out in the wind and just blow the balls down the road. And
you get sand blown because the sand would just come straight off the beach, straight into, like, our car was covered, everything was covered.
Yeah, it's just bloody sand everywhere. So unfortunately we were just sitting there, and yeah, it was just a bit noisy, and it was tiring as well. Unfortunately, the way home we sort of tried to explore a little bit and check out some places. We dropped into Savannah's, what's it, the Lobster Shack for lunch, which is really nice. I really recommend it. Needed actually been there before and worked there, and put us onto it, and my first time there, and it was really good. Only problem was, I think we were getting ready to leave, and suddenly, again, because it was that windy, how many k's south of it is it?
It's halfway, pretty much halfway between Donga and Perth.
Yeah, so it's about 200 k's, but
yeah,
because it's still on the coast, the wind didn't die down at all, and the roof above the kids' play area, which was held down by cable and what is it, like a metal and sheet roof.
It's like a shade sail, but with like metal poles running through it.
Yeah.
So yeah, top of the range shade sail, but yeah, that broke.
Yeah.
Would have been a lot of money.
And part of that bloody had been blown off and ripped off, and it was just banging down on the top of the play equipment, and a bit dangerous, and
poor
it was
staff
just
didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
As you don't, because you can't hold it down, it's too heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's how windy it was.
Yeah, so we've got all the kids are out the way and all the people out the way, which was fine. But I'm not sure how they would have fixed that, because, you know, that's probably 20 metres in the air, and it was blowing pretty hard, so the only option was to take it down. But I'm not sure how they're going to bloody do that, but that's just how it was. You know, even the jumping pillow back at the caravan park, that just got blown off, you know, during the night, and it's all ripped off anyway. But But I guess in summary, unfortunately, we didn't get to see the best of the donga. We had about 2 hours in the morning when the wind died down. It was beautiful.
Yeah.
It was actually really nice.
It was the
park
place that I
nice.
told you it was.
Yeah, the park was nice, and the amenities were pretty decent there. So, passed it through, recommend it, and the beach there was pretty cool. But unfortunately, the wind just blew up, and we just had to get out of there. Something I will cover off just before we finish up here. Also, I've had some problems with pegs in the past, and with the wind that we had, I had a fair chance to test out a few things, and unfortunately, this is the peg. It's actually a bit bent, funnily enough. That's a peg that came with the camper trailer. Used that in a couple of spots, but again on the ground, not so good. Well, some parts were useful, but most of it wasn't. Then I got the screw-in pegs as well. Used those in some spots, the grassy bits, but again, because there's a lot of sand, many spots that was just pulling out. And then when I was actually buying these, which are just Austrail ones, I picked up a heap of these, which are just tent pegs, and I had a heap of those, you know, in the sand areas as well. So without those, wouldn't have been able to tie everything down and keep everything in check. So there's a bit of a lesson for you. Make sure you got a few different peg options, because again, when you go to these places, you don't know what the ground's going to be like. Sometimes they rock hard, sometimes they're nice and grassy and soft, and even though they say grass, it kind of was grass, but it was more just dusty and sandy anyway, which was nice, but not wind, that's for sure. Anyway, that was our you know, little post-Christmas camping trip, and again, just want to, you know, thank everyone for being involved with the feedback and telling us, you know, about your experiences and all those types of things. And if you enjoyed it, thanks for watching. I'm Diesel, and we've got Nita here, and we're getting around Oz Camper Trailer Traveling. We'll catch you the next one. All right.